This is the definition of power creep. Legends of Runeterra doesn't have much of that due to it being a live update game. If there's an overperforming card, it will be dealt with in a timely manner. Additionally, with the help of rotation, the meta can be refreshed every season, but unfortunately, a few cards may slip through the cracks. In this video, we will be exploring 5 power crept cards in Legends of Runeterra that we'll never see play. To be included in this list, comparisons have to do what the OG card did but better, and be the same cost and region. We'll be basing the list on all cards in an eternal format, and please note that portals won't be considered. And as always, if you enjoy this type of lore content, drop a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Your active support helps the YouTube algorithm and helps me create more content. Also, I reached Diamond with only set decks. I think I deserve a GG. Without further ado, my name is Kryn, welcome to my Canadian apartment, let's get started. In number 3, we have Spirits Unleashed. This card power creeps Bellows Breath. Although Spirits Unleashed was released before Bellows Breath, it received a significant buff that makes it far superior than Bellows Breath. Originally, Spirits Unleashed only buffed the units on a board. Now it buffs all your units everywhere, which is an insane improvement. Unlike Bellows Breath, which only buffs one unit or equipment with +1/+1, Spirits Unleashed buffs all your units everywhere, making it one of the best cards to splash into any deck such as our Elusive. But there are significant differences that do differentiate the two cards. Spirits Unleashed pings the Nexuses too, making it work great with plunder decks. However, if you heavily rely on health as a resource, Bellows Breath may be the better choice as it only targets units. Moreover, if you're playing Scar Grounds, it does activate Scar Grounds twice. It also damages your opponents 2 times, which can be multiplied by cards like Tie Bulk, Kegs, and other amplifying cards. But generally, you don't want to be damaging your own units too much. Duping a Forge equipment with Ornn can also be beneficial for your game plan as well. In summary, while Spirits Unleashed is a major upgrade to Bellows Breath in terms of buffing your units, there are reasons why Bellows Breath is far superior to Spirits Unleashed, and that's why it's so low on this list. At number 4, we have Demacian Steel, replacing Battlefield Prowess in terms of buffing a unit with +1/+1. The difference between these two cards is that the BP is a spell, while Demacian Steel is an equipment, which means there are both benefits and weaknesses to them both. BP is a slow spell which can be negated or silenced, whereas Demacian Steel is an equipment that can't be silenced but can be destroyed. Why Demacian Steel is far superior is because it returns back to your hand after your unit dies, and you can also buff the equipment by forging it for more possibilities. Personally, I would not put either in my deck as there are better options available for just 1 extra mana. Ultimately, the decision is yours. In 3rd place, you knew this was coming, Catch versus Radiant Strike. As you can clearly see, Catch does what Radiant Strike does but more. Catch is a much better choice for Jax or Demacian decks with equipment, making Radiant Strike completely obsolete. However, if you don't have any equipment cards in your deck, both spells work just as fine. There is a flaw that Catch has that Radiant Strike doesn't though. If you wanted to only play Catch from Freljord or Demacia with all your other cards from another region, you won't be able to due to it being a multi-region card. But that's a very conditional requirement, and that's why it's my number 3. In number 2, when it comes to comparing Vestigian Disciple to the Mourned in an Ahri deck or any Ionia deck, Vestigian Disciple clearly outshines the latter through value and versatility. Recalling Vestigian Disciple turns it into a 2-mana focus speed spell that summons it back and lets you draw a card. For 1 attack point, this is a trade that is too valuable to pass up. There are drawbacks as you can't buff Vestigian Disciple in your hand with hand buffs, but if we're recalling the Mourned, buffs are temporary. While both cards can be used in the same deck, it's better to reserve the other 1-drop slot for Dancing Droplet, but that's my number 2. And before I announce number 1, here are my honorable mentions as these are pretty interesting comparisons. Ixtali Sentinel is a big lifesteal unit that is somewhat better than Soulgorger. It supports Darkness decks and you get some more lifesteal per hit. But if you're playing a deck that focuses on healing big health units and making them formidable, I can see why you would want Soulgorger instead with a bigger health pool. And the second honorable mention is All Out beating Elixir of Wrath. Both these cards are 1-cost combat tricks and noxes, but the reason why All Out is a little bit better is the extra health you give to your unit, which could save one of your blockers. But in any overwhelmed deck made by Rico Rex, bigger attack wins games. So both are great in their respective decks. But now for my number 1. Finally, in number 1 we have Loyal Badger Bear, who is power crept by not only 1, but 2 units. Demacia is an easy region, big vanilla beat sticks. Originally, Loyal Badger Bear embodied that. It was a 3-cost 4/4 unit, until it was nerfed to 3/4. Now comparing it to the most recent card, Blocking Badger Bear, you can see the obvious power creep. Not only does blocking Badger Bear have an extra point in attack, but it can block elusive units and benefit from being an elite unit. And if you don't want to play blocking Badger Bear in your deck, Rune Dragon Guard does what Loyal Badger Bear does, but more. Unlike the other cards on this list that may see opportunities to be played in specific decks, I do not see a reason why you would ever want to main deck Loyal Badger Bear, ever. But that's that. Do you agree with my list? What did I miss? Tell me in the comments. Anyways, I'm Corinne. Don't do the illegal, don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, peace.